That's but yeah, I wanted to ask you. Okay, we will speedrun this question. How is compare university life here versus back home? 3 things.
Oh God.
It's divided. Like things are divided between campuses.
Oh yeah, the campuses are far away, right?
Yeah,
You
campuses
gotta
are far
walk
away.
to a lot of places.
Student life is a little harder that way.
You both can pitch in for this. You can.
I could go on for like an hour, so I need to think my thoughts real quick.
It can be rowdier. Just European students in general are just rowdier.
What do you mean by rowdier? Just wild?
Every week parties. Like
yeah,
big parties.
yeah.
Like think of like any time some American college students go to Europe in a movie, and it is like that. It is like that.
yeah.
It's
you have to purposefully stay away from that, or else your life is ruined.
Well,
yeah,
we didn't ruin it so far.
Okay, I think.
No, I mean a lot of people just sink in that hole and they do not focus on anything else. But yeah,
I guess my last one is that it's education aspect is a little more like student life. You're a lot more involved. Like there's a lot more interaction with professors and whatnot, and the students, and you feel like you're a part of something rather than you're just being lectured at.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Yeah. I experienced the same.
I had huge differences. I went to a very small school in Georgia that had 7,500 kids. Everybody lived in like houses or nice apartments. I lived in a house with 3 roommates, had a big front yard, and I paid $250 a month for rent.
Nice.
Basically nothing, half of what I pay here. And there, it wasn't partying every weekend, it was every single day I was going to somebody's house and we were doing something. You know, we weren't always like drinking or whatever, but we were hanging out, we were doing something. And I kind of missed that. I could ride my bike from one part of town to the other, no matter where it was, and I could get there in 10 minutes tops. So I just miss, it's not really a university thing, I just miss the small town aspect of where I went to school, because Prague is big, it's hard to do multiple things in the same day. That was the big thing for me, was going from like small local community to huge. It's harder to see people regularly. But on the other hand, Prague and this university, there's so many people, so many things to do, so many bars, so many clubs, whatever. I feel like there was such a wide variety that we never really had to repeat things, and that the things that we did repeat were things that we genuinely really enjoyed. Yeah. So that was fun. We created our own little rituals. So that's it. That was my second difference. Third difference is academic wise. Like I had much more coursework in university, where I was expected to turn in much more work. No, in my undergrad. I had a lot of work, and my classes were 2 times a week instead of once a week like they were here. Whereas here it was much more difficult work, but there was fewer assignments, which was kind of nerve-wracking for me, because I always, I made good grades because I did decently on all of my things. But here I had to start doing really well on the few things that were due, so it was sort of a difference in how I prepare for school. Yeah. So that took like a little bit of time, but I did good.
Done good.
I was a good boy academically. Yeah. But yeah, that was my 3, I guess.
This is a good boy gang.
Good boy gang.
No, but yeah, I agree. For me, it would be like an amalgamation of both of what you said. We didn't have any coursework, but for me, it's just, for film school, so it was a lot more practical compared to back home, and people are way more understanding and accommodating of you, even if you have some special requests or if you have some things that you want taken care of. People are ready to listen. And there's a lot of parties which you have to, like, especially in like art schools, like film school, it's just chaos. People just lose track of what they want to do, because at the end of the day we're spending a lot of money here, and to me it's just not fair just to myself that I would not utilize all of that investment in a good way. So that's why I said like it's good to steer away, because for me, especially if you're like I was paying a lot, I think like 12,000 something euros just for 1 year. So
roughly what we were paying, sort of.
Yeah, but yours is like a master's. Mine is post, like just a
fair enough.
diploma. So, but yeah, that was a good speed run. Good job.
Yeah. The speedrun segment.
Damn. These are very big boy questions now. How do you miss your family?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even need to
I
explain
have
that one.
4 sisters. I'm used to living in like a chaotic household of 7 people. I do very much. I miss my dogs.
My dogs like crazy. Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, very easy.
If you had to make an ideal life out of the life you have here and the life back home, like what aspects would you pick from life here and what aspects would you pick from life back home?
That's a good question. That could be a whole podcast too. Honestly, though.
No, first of all, I'd also like to say that I also miss my family a lot.
Yeah.
I have a lot of cousins, and
Love you, Mom.
no, I really do. It's just comforting to be with family, and I have a lot of cousins, and well, I was living with my parents, and even when I moved out, I was living just 10 steps away from them. So, yeah, mom's food, pretty
yes,
good.
Mom's food. Dad's shrimp
yeah.
scampi. I can do this quickly, I think. What I miss most about living in Savannah is the nature and the access to it. Because, I mean, here, there's plenty of green space, but you have to take a tram, you have to plan, etc.
Yeah.
There, I could just hop in my car and I could be in the beach in 10 minutes. Or we could go out on a boat and you could go to a barrier island and, like, what would normally be months of planning, whatever, was 20 minutes of, like, hey, let's make a few sandwiches and go out to the beach today. And I miss that. I really do miss the freedom of going, I want to camp this weekend. Let's go. There's, we'll drive 2 hours outside of Savannah and there's woods. I miss that. But what Prague has that Savannah doesn't have is like the sense of sort of efficiency, like the recycling, the cleanliness, the amount of things going on and the amount of things to do. It's just obviously much more vast. I mean, it's a city of what, 1.3 million ish? And Savannah's 250,000. So like that's just a small town versus city thing. But Prague just has a lot of charm too. Like there's so many cute cafes and restaurants and places to go. And
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And
yeah.
I just miss access to nature. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. What would you?
See, that's hard. This is a lot harder for me. I think the first thing that I think of is like I like how Prague is like big but small. And hear me out. Like it's a condensed city. It's a big city, but it's condensed.
Yeah.
It's not dense like New York, but it's like there's lots of residential neighborhoods for like quite a while around this.
It's walkable.
Yeah,
Most of it is super walkable.
Which is really nice. I wish that Vancouver would be like that. If I could combine my living in Vancouver with Prague, it would be, instead of it being like a core with like a semi-dense core and then like suburbia, it would be like more designed like Prague, like condense Vancouver into Prague size, but keep it the way it is, more or less, because it has its benefits of being Vancouver. It'd be nice if it was a more walkable, like for a lot longer, as opposed to like the downtown core being like just the business part of the city. Another thing I would change would, I miss the interactivity in a way. Like here, I like the introvertedness, but I also like, because I don't speak the language well enough to do so, I miss being able to interact and like do
it's
things.
a balance.
Like going out and like not being afraid to go to a new bar by myself.
Casual
just talk to people,
conversations,
go up to them, and
you shouldn't feel that way. You should not feel that way at all, because like in the end, you're still a human being. And you can do whatever you want. You can go into a bar that you don't know very well.
75% of people are going to speak English.
But it's a barrier that, or at least I put up for myself. That I can't speak the language well enough, so I feel bad about that, and that makes it harder to live here, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
I can't think of anything else off the top of my head at the moment, though, so I'm gonna stick with those.
No, that's pretty good, because for me also walkability. Well, when I think of this like question, I think of things that I would bring here from Mumbai, because I think here, life for me is way more suitable. It's just quieter, less people. I love the fact that there's not that many high-rise buildings here, because Mumbai is so full of high-rise buildings. Everything is vertical. Mumbai is very vertical because it's so densely populated, and this is very horizontal.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to look outside your window and just see things instead of just seeing one thing. I love that. And the things that I would bring from Mumbai would just be, a little more assurance in the way that I can, the same as you, just I can talk to people. So I think maybe once I learn Czech, because I know I can still talk to a lot more people than I let myself talk to, knowing that people will probably speak English, but still it just doesn't come to me that easy, and I always feel so distant. Still, just going outside, I feel like the roads I go through are home because I've gone through them so many times now that I'm used to them. But everything else doesn't feel like home yet, and that's okay. It hasn't just been like 1 year and a few months, but I would definitely bring food.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you bring the food, please?
Yeah, oh my god, I miss street food. I think Prague would be so much better to live in if they had street food, because they don't technically have street food.
There's those excellent carts in the square, you know.
Oh, that's
Smajak.
so fake. Yeah. So tourist trapped street food and like kebabs but it's not. It's not proper soul street food that will fill you up and make you feel guilty.
Yeah.
Like you need that food.
Like someone who doesn't care about you making food for you on the street.
Oh.
Somebody that wants to hurt you.
Yeah.
In Mumbai, people, like the street food vendors care about you a lot. They will like make food in a way that you will come back every time.
Well, okay, yeah, in that sense. But like, think about the way you cook at home when you're like, I'll put in like a little bit of butter and like a little oil.
Oh yeah.
And then like you go to a restaurant and it's like,
just
that
reckless.
person just doesn't care about me. Look at all the butter he put in there. That's how I want to be treated with street food.
Yeah, you just want to feel bad.
Yes.
But
want to feel
bad.
guilty.
Yeah.
Like you've done something horrible, but also it was good fun. Yeah. That's what street food should be. Like they don't care about you. Like you'll come
this
back.
is reckless.
Like a really bad ex-boyfriend. You just keep coming back. He's really bad. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I wanted to. Yeah, this is a heavy question.
Good thing I have a sip of orange juice for that.
This is a little heavy. Do you have any regrets about deciding to come here?
About deciding to come here.
Or like about coming here, like would you have chosen something else? Would you have done something different? Just any regrets? Not about your personal life, just about.
No, I have lots of regrets. Trust me.
Where are we getting here? Like,
this is getting deep. But specifically in regards to Prague, I guess like a lighthearted regret is I wish I had moved in with James sooner. Been a lot more fun.
Wholesome.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a comment.
This is the wholesome podcast.
I wish I'd done that because like even though I had a great time with my old flatmates, behind Prague Castle, beautiful place. Excuse you, I'm talking. The amount of fun I've had this year living with James has been really easy, really fun. So I would love to do that sooner. As you can see, I'm doing my manly voice in order to talk about emotional subjects.
I can see that.
I don't know about other regrets. I mean, I wish I had probably worked a little bit harder in school because I came in with it. I came out of my bachelor's with I came out as top of my class. Like I was published. I was really successful, and I got into every grad school I applied for. So I came in with an ego. I wish I hadn't. It's not like I found the schoolwork hard. It's that I didn't put in the effort. So I wish I'd done that. Just for the fact that I feel bad about not doing it now. And then I wish I had easiest one I can think of is I wish I had, like, when I knew I was moving to Prague, I hadn't put off the visa process.
Yes. 100%.
We have similar stories, but it was like, it came to like August 1st. I had just put in my resignation notice at Tap and Barrel, and the same day I left work, I was like, oh no, I have to do this whole visa process, and I just bought my flight like that day.
Yeah.
I have a flight but not a visa.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to do like what normally takes like 3 or 4 months. I had to do that in the space of a week. Anyway, my whole regret is that I wish I had, been smart about it. I figured that out sooner. If you know you're moving, apply for a visa as soon as you have like 100% confirmation. Don't be like me who's like, I can just get a visa. I got the visa, obviously.
I was even worse than you, though.
Yeah, you were way worse. You didn't have one. You didn't have one in the mail. Mine was at least in. I could at least come.
They didn't even start the process yet.
Yeah. So always start your visa process ASAP.
Yeah. Regrets are very similar to Connor. I wish I hadn't lived alone in Niemca the first year. It was really nice. It was a cool apartment. But I was alone outside of Prague. So even like the small things, like if I wanted to get groceries, I had to go to like a Pultravini to get groceries.
Yeah. That's like a small
it's a corner store, yeah.
But it gets expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. You pay like almost 50-60% more than like big grocery stores like Tesco or something.
And barely anybody delivers out there, food-wise, especially at night.
Yeah.
So I was, I learned how to cook a lot of things that year. A lot of things. If it was like midnight and I decided I wanted some cookies, I could just figure it out with what I had in my kitchen. And I was like, all right, I'm going to make cookies. So that was a regret.
You were always reasonably well stocked, though.
Yeah, because of that. I had a few nights where I was like, dear God, what am I going to consume? It was nothing. But the other one, so by the time I received my acceptance into the school, it was too late to finish the visa process in DC. It was like, it wouldn't have finished. I would have been like 3 weeks late coming here. So I had, after a lot of back and forth conversation with one of the people at our international office for the school, she just said, come here, it'll be easy. You can schedule an appointment in one of the neighboring countries and get your visa. And I was like, okay, that sounds swell. Because at the time, right before I came here, I was gallivanting around the United States. I did a 2.5-month road trip by myself across and back from Savannah to California and back. So, I had other things I was doing. I couldn't go to, like, D.C. I was, in Oregon. And I actually sent out my my application to the school from New Orleans, from an Airbnb in New Orleans.
Nice.
So basically I get here and I'm assured that it's an easy process. And I start contacting these people to help me. And they're like, everything's booked for the next 3 months. And I was like, I need it in 90 days. Eventually I get one in Berlin, go to Berlin, get it solved, and it was fine. But it was still really unnecessarily stressful 2 months of trying to figure out the visa. So 100% I would have had that completely done with before I got here. And then school-wise, there's only one thing I regret school-wise, and that's not taking, the War Games class?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, it was like one of those credits that's sort of like, it's more fun than it is a serious class. Yeah. And everybody gets to go up to this retreat up in North Czech Republic where there's like an open bar and a sauna
in the middle of winter.
In the middle of winter. And we just heard so many crazy stories.
And we didn't do it.
We didn't go.
To be fair, we had the opportunity to go in 2020.
You still didn't go.
Well, COVID.
Yeah, COVID.
They would have locked
excuses.
It was scheduled for like mid-March, right? Yeah. And mid-March was, when things got locked down.
That's another regret of mine, is that I wish I had traveled more when it was able to. Because the whole time I was like, all right, I'm going to be basically done after 3 semesters. So I'll just stay in Prague, get my work done, and then travel. By the time that rolls around, I'm taking my final class online, and we're in lockdown, and I can no longer travel. And then I'm dealing with visa issues, so I can't travel because of that. So I do regret I haven't seen very much of the Czech Republic. Just a few cities and a couple of bike rides outside of town. But I guess that's my final one. It's not traveling enough while I could.
Yeah, no, I relate so much to that. I've seen a lot after like since I met Misha, but like we've gone to a few cities. But before that, I hadn't gone anywhere in the Czech Republic, and I still haven't gone to the castle.
You've never been to Prague Castle?
No,
It's such a pleasant walk.
I went to the Charles Bridge with you guys for the first time.
No, it was fun.
Yeah, so I haven't seen any monuments. But yeah, these things are just monuments and like tourist places, and I've never cared for it that much. I don't understand the point. But yeah, I wish I would have. I didn't know traveling to so many cities in Prague. Like I didn't know about RegioJet, like the bus service.
So
that was
affordable.
so affordable. I didn't know about it for so long. I was just doing Flixbus, and that was expensive. Like I just didn't know so many secrets that not secrets, but they're still like hidden away. You don't get like told that there's a service that you get 95% off because you're a student.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It is insane.
So yeah, I wish I would have known about that. Then I could have seen the whole of Czech Republic, like for like 100 euros. That's insane. Yeah, another one would be, well, I don't think I regret it, but I think I did the other things pretty well. I reached out to Alex. Alex's his girlfriend, she is like one of the earliest friends that I had.
That's how we know each other.
Yeah. She's one of the earliest friends that I had in Prague, like who is a local here, and she worked at the bookstore, and I just went up and just talked to them. Like I was a regular there because the bookstore is connected to a cafe which is just near our school, like my school, and all of the students would go there. So once I became a regular, I just was, you know what, man, I'm just gonna reach out. I want to make friends. So I made friends, and then she had another one of her friends, Daria, which is also in our friend circle, and they both invited me to their place where they both live as well. And so that's the first time I met both of these guys last year before Diwali. But before
That was that really fun party, right? Like when there was
there was like beer
people
pong
there,
and
like Xander
yeah. It was so many people there. That was, I think, the biggest party you guys had.
That's
like
we still had school
Yes.
friends here. Like, we still had
yeah. There was so many international students
To
there.
put it in perspective, that was a small party for us.
It was.
For me, that was like the most unknown people I've seen in a house in this country. But we've had bigger parties in our school, and I would always leave like around 9-10. I'd be like, oh no, this is too much. Like it's just like everyone just gets in their small groups. But here it was better because I was in a small group where I knew people. So we were just talking, vibing, and that's how I got to know you guys. And I don't regret that I went up to them and I made friends, because or else I wouldn't have a social life here.
Yeah.
So I think I really did something good.
You done
with
good.
that. Yeah, I did
You done
good.
good.
I keep picturing your hair at that party. It was like long and
Oh yeah,
curly.
I had like really long,
you did have
nice.
Yeah.
I had a man bun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm working towards now too.
Things can seem really big in the time, because especially when you're here, because you feel sort of alienated. You're away from your usual support group,
Yeah.
and you feel stuck in like lost in translation.
Yeah.
But then 2 days later, like, that really wasn't that big of an issue.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy and everything's fine. It's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it takes a while. It's like an adult thing to come to terms with.
Yeah.
It's like stress is okay. It happens. You just have to move
In
past it.
fact, you can't stop it from happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to let it happen so that you understand how to cope with it. If you're always running away from it, you will never understand what to do with it. So one day you just gotta sit down and be like, sup, so what are we gonna do about this?
Yeah.
And then you figure out a way, and this place forced me to figure that out. So I don't regret that. There's a lot of I had a really difficult time last year around December, January, where I had nothing. Everything, it just felt like everything was falling apart. Things were people at school, I didn't feel that close with them, and it was not fun. I didn't know what I was doing here. And it's that time, the first time I was experiencing the sun setting at 2:30, and it says people, I don't know, people might say that that's not that big of a deal, but for me it did not do well. Like my brain could not cope with it.
Yeah.
I've used to like the sun setting at 7 every day, and the sun rising at 6 or something, and just being in the dark for maximum amount of the day. It just I could not cope with. And the sad part was that I hadn't experienced the summer when I came here.
Mm-hmm.
I directly went into the dark days, like
You start
September.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the time I experienced summer was this year, and now I understand.
Summer here is
Oh, it's
awesome.
so good. The sun setting at like
Summer here.
9, 10
Yeah,
p.m.
It's awesome.
It's like bright the whole day. It's amazing.
Perfect temperature, except for when you're sharing an apartment with 3 dudes and there's no AC.
Yeah.
Then it's a little hot.
Or when you're have the top floor apartment and you're just the top of you, it's the ceiling, and then the sun is shining bright on you.
Oh god.
All day.
Yeah,
It's hotter.
that was what happened was because we had a studio apartment, my studio apartment with him and my friend visiting for 2 weeks almost.
Yeah.
Top floor, just the sun and windows in the ceiling.
Yeah,
100 degrees
exactly,
Fahrenheit.
exactly.
Like, yeah, it was hot.
Very grateful you let me stay at your house while we're house searching, but oh my god.
It was a little sauna.
Would never do that again.
No.
Now we know.
Otherwise, summers are good.
Don't be poor, basically.
Yeah.
I have one more question, which is, well, I also rounded this. The first one was silly, but this one is just, what is the most bizarre or weirdest or funniest? I guess it's the same thing, but if you have something else.
Bizarre thing.
Something that you're just like, what is happening? Maybe it's not that funny to you, but it's just like something odd that you noticed here or just witnessed here in the Czech Republic.
Oof, that's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know about odd. There's like things that I don't necessarily like that I've discovered here.
What? What? Oh my god, my voice is gone.
What? One of the big things for me is that the people that check the tickets on the public transportation are usually like freelance agents that are incentivized.
What?
Yeah,
Yes.
those people don't work for the state. Like they're super incentivized to bust anybody, and they target foreigners. That
Yeah.
pissed me off. That I felt like I was being victimized. I've only been caught once, but like, still, I had ordered the ticket. I had the text. You could see that I had sent it. And it just didn't come because they checked me like a minute before I got the responding text with my
Oh,
bill.
shit.
So I still get charged 800 crowns. And there was just no talking to him. You know, he's like, whatever, you don't
But
speak
it's
Czech.
the same even for Czech people.
Yeah.
They're really like, and Prague is still good. Liberec is worse people in this
Really?
country. Yeah.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
Liberec is worse.
Yeah.
A lot of
It's-
rural,
yeah.
like smaller
It's
cities
just
are worse.
because it says you can't transfer the bus or public transportation if you don't have a ticket. You have to wait for the text. No
Yeah.
way. Bye.
Yeah, they're very much
For,
bye.
For everyone.
Have a hard
yeah,
time.
It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
That was,
Yeah, but the good thing in Prague, if I can say, the prices here is good.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
Comparing to Liberec, they're even increasing
Yeah.
it now.
really.
And Liberec is like you can travel the whole town in
Walking.
half an hour
Yeah.
Yeah.
by public transport. But the tickets will cost the same amount as here for hour. Hour.
Yeah.
It's
It's ridiculous.
doesn't make any sense.
No,
Building on that, just interrupting you a little bit, sorry.
no, I'm done. That was my point.
What I find bizarre about living here is that, like, the saying is like, if you properly follow the proper protocol, then you'll be fine. But you can look for hours, read all the handbooks, ask people to translate the Czech documents for you, and you will never find the proper protocol.
Yeah, there is no.
It makes no sense. Like, Franz Kafka is from this place for a reason. He designed this government. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
He says these are the proper protocols, and then hides them where you can never find them. Like,
It's very bureaucratic.
It feels very post-Soviet.
yes, like
Yeah.
even in our countries, like I imagine India would be the same. Like huge bureaucracies,
Yeah.
lots of work going into them, well funded. Well, I mean, at least in our sense. I don't know about India,
Could be.
Could
But-
be more funded, yeah.
but they work, and you can find the instructions easily.
Mm-hmm.
Here, no. you can't find it. There's nothing.
I literally read conflicting information on 2 different government websites.
Yeah, the government says different things, and it's infuriating. Like when I went to get my visa renewal this year, I was like, okay, I need to transfer to employee card. Great, I got all my documents. It even said, and I learned this the hard way from my first visa. It said, if necessary, have this. So this time it said, have a medical checkup. Okay, I went and got that. The first time I got my visa, it said, if necessary, have health insurance. It's like, okay. The first time I said, I'll wait and get it when I get there. That's why my visa took so long, because I didn't have it. And they were literally waiting for me to get health insurance. When I asked them why it was taking so long, they said, oh, we are waiting for decision from Prague. Within 3 days of getting my health insurance, the visa was in the mail. This time around, I said, okay, it says if necessary, that means have it.
Yeah.
Went to the visa office. You don't need that. So I just wasted 1,500 crowns
For a checkup?
There's no rhyme or reason.
No.
I mean, I guess it's the safe way to like assume that you need something.
Yeah.
If it says if necessary, assume it means do have it. And if you waste money, you waste money.
For me, the most bizarre thing, this is gonna sound weird, but just seeing homeless white people, just seeing like beggars or someone, but they're white, it's just so weird to me.
They do exist.
No, it's just
There's a lot of them actually.
no, I know, but it's like
3 or 4.
because in pop culture, especially in India or in any Asian country, just like white skin is so idolized that you like, I'm sure for someone who comes here, like who's only seen the movies, and because you associate, fair skin with like those things,
Monetary
and then you come
prosperity.
here and you're like, damn, bro, they're like broke.
This person's crazy.
Yeah, this person's like a meth head, and you're like, okay, but to me that would be probably the most bizarre thing. It's just every time, it's so humbling to see that. It's just like at some point, even race cannot help you. Like at some point, it's all like,
You should check out Vancouver someday. It's not pretty there. No.
It makes Philadelphia look nice. It's not, or it makes LA be like kind of rough.
But yeah, coming from that, this would be like half rapid fire, half quick, like half little one. But what do you think about the quality of life here, and could you see yourself living here permanently?
You can go first.
Quality of life is really nice. I like the quality of life. Obviously, there's things I'm missing, but also like, given that I'm am I late 20s? I suppose so. Late 20s, early professional. Really good living standards. I would say, like, salaries are tolerable. They're good enough for
here.
Nice. Yep, and the life is affordable here. I have everything I need. So, yeah, quality of life is really good. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I can afford, luxuries, like things that I wouldn't be able to afford otherwise. So yeah, it's good. Can I see myself living here permanently? Well, no, not at the moment, no. Because, but I mean, if you'd asked me that like a year ago, yeah, like permanently, like beyond 5 or 6 years, yeah, I would say so. I don't know if I would settle here, like immigrate.
Yeah.
But like live here for like quite a substantial more time, like double. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't give it a second thought. I would just like to learn more Czech.
Yeah, that comes with a lot of European countries, I guess. You just gotta learn the native language.
Well, that's like a regret for me too. Is that like I can speak Spanish and German quite well. So I could have gone to Germany and like had the same life and probably would have been a little bit happier because I had the language. I can speak to people. Same as, well, I don't want to go to Spain, but I could. But like here, it's like I feel frustrated because I spent so much time learning German and Spanish, and
Yeah.
and then it's like I haven't had a chance to learn Czech the way I want to. So
We've been busy though. We had school, you know.
we have been busy, and then we had COVID, and then we had no money.
To the people who don't know that Connor has decided to go back to Canada soon. He'll be leaving, so that's why he's saying like
my
at that time no. So.
Yeah.
my employer decided for me a little bit.
But yeah, still,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, that's my answer.
My answer's about the same though. Like, quality of life here is great. You can live almost any lifestyle you'd like. I mean, if you have like a high salary, you wouldn't know any difference between here and like one of the wealthiest European countries.
Yeah.
But you could also work like at a restaurant and still afford rent slightly outside of town, and you know you'd be okay. I like that. I like that it accommodates a lot of different class levels. Living here, Connor, I think I could live here for a couple of years for sure. I love it here, but I don't know if I want to live here forever. Not because of the country. There's nothing I dislike about it. It's just there's other places that I do have like a special affinity for. Sweden, of course. I've got family there, and I love it. I grew up going there like every other year and spent a ton of time there. Ireland, I studied abroad there, and I made some amazing friends. Who, unfortunately, I'm not great at long distance communication, but like I love those guys, and I know it wouldn't be like it wouldn't feel like 3 years has gone by since I've talked to them. You know, I would have friends there, and that's the thing. You know, here we've got a tight knit group of friends, but it's small. Whereas like in Sweden, I would have an extended family. In Ireland, I would have like an extended friend group. But then, you know, there's also that part of me that wants to go somewhere completely different and experience that too. Because like I love it here, but my studies are around Southeast Asia. You know, part of me wants to go live in Japan for a few years because I did my thesis on Okinawa, and like I want to experience a whole different part of the world that you don't get here. Because while it's nice, it's still Europe, and you know, Europe is Europe in the end. And
I think that's a fair answer.
Yeah, but I guess that connects more to just our personal like yearn for growing and just experiencing more stuff. But yeah, that makes sense, I guess. I don't think even I would want to like, it's not just about this place. I wouldn't want to decide to live anywhere permanently. I think I would always want to move at least 5 to 10 years, like every 5 to 10 years. 10 years is good, I think. And right now 5 years is pretty good. Like in your 20s, 30s, 5 years is good, but in your mid 30s, like 10 years, you want to stay in some place, something nice. And but yeah, this is a good starting point to Europe. Like this is like you come here, you get used to a lot of things, and then you're like, okay, now I can like check out some more EU countries, decide to live there. But yeah, what would you say you learned about yourself after moving here? And we're coming to the end. There's just one more after this.
Yeah, geez, you are going for the hard questions now. James, you want to go or?
Yeah, I can go. So before I even came here, I was going through a bit of a change internally, mostly brought on by being that age where you've graduated college, you've got to go to the next step. And on top of that, I did my 2.5 month road trip completely alone. And that was like a level of self-dependence and self-sufficiency that I've never had to experience before. I've always had a family, a tight support group. And this, you know, I'm certain place, you know, you're crossing Texas, there's 100 miles to the next gas station. And you're like, all right, if I hadn't have seen this gas station, I would be stuck in the desert. And that's, you know, that's just like little things that, you know, I would get mad at myself for getting lost, and I'll be yelling in the car and be pissed off. And then an hour later, I'm like, idiot, like, I'm fine. Like, and you just learn that, you know, take things in stride. Like, if something bad happens, it happened. It's an experience. You're going to remember that better than you remember the night that went well. You know, and I've learned from that anything that happens to me is not bad or good. I like to think of it like how a dog detects smell, you know? A dog can smell a toilet and be like, interesting. And they can smell a fresh loaf of bread and be like, interesting. You know, it's not bad or good, it's just different smells. And that's sort of experiences for me now. It's like, okay, at the time it wasn't great, but 5 years from now I'm going to remember that more than I'm going to remember that night that I had a great time. And that means a lot to me now, more so than it did when I was younger. But once I got here, that just sort of kept going. I was like, I'm alone. I have to take care of myself. My parents are 6 hours behind and, you know, a million miles away.
Yeah.
So I'm on my own. And it was scary for like a week. And then afterwards, it's sort of relieving. You're like, oh, like, I'm only held accountable by myself right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome. And as long as you don't let yourself slide into that habit of partying every day or like not doing anything and falling into like a weird mental state, you know, you just little things like routines can keep you healthy and keep you happy, and you learn that to just appreciate going for a long walk or like appreciate cooking yourself a nice meal to keep yourself happy, and then you appreciate that, you know, you have developed the skills to do things on your own. Like, I no longer need my parents to go to the hospital, you know, I don't need them to go to Berlin and get my visa and come back. Like, you can do it on your own, and it just takes actually having to do it to figure out that you're capable of it.
Yeah.
And you would never get that experience unless you threw yourself into the situation. So I just like that, you know, I now feel much more confident and self-secure. Yeah.
I absolutely agree. Like, a lot of those things you just like, you have to learn it at some point, otherwise you're gonna sink. And a lot of what I'm gonna say is gonna echo what you said. Like, my biggest thing was like I was always a problem solver, but it was always like, okay, how do we fix this problem? Well, let's not stress about it. But one thing that I learned was that it's okay to like panic and stress. You have to just like, you can't just always be like, let's fix it. Like, yes, you have to fix it, but it's gonna take days or weeks to fix it. Like, you're allowed to have like an hour or so, or even longer, to just fix, like, vent your problem and just like stew in it. As long as you are, you know, mature enough to bring yourself out of that hole. Because if you let yourself stew, then you're gonna make the rest of your life harder. Which is always my problem, is that I was always like pushing things aside, being like, hey, let's fix the problem and we'll deal with it later, but we never dealt with it later. So this was about, the last 2 years have been about, let's actually deal with things later. Let's start doing things that we have to do. Like, yeah, we got off the plane. Okay, where's the transfer guy? He's late. Okay, what do? We fix the problem. Get the Airbnb, and it's like, okay, are the problems fixed? Yes. Okay, now let's feel bad about it. But that's what I should have done. Instead, it was just, okay, moving on, having fun, and then next thing you know, like 3 months later, you're having a breakdown at home. Like, you need to, like, what I learned was how to manage that, and like be more. I learned that I learned to like feel my emotions. It's okay to feel stress. It's okay to feel panic. It's okay to feel sad. It's better to, and especially I've gotten better at talking to people and being like, hey, I'm feeling sad. And when they say, oh, there's nothing to be sad about, like, just let me feel sad. It's okay to feel emotions, because you're going to feel them. And especially us as men, we're told not to feel them. So it's even harder for us to do. So coming to terms with emotions was one thing I learned myself that I could do. Another thing I learned about myself is that I'm actually a lot more organized than I thought I was. It just took that kind of like existential pressure to do it. Because like my mom never ever sees this. My mom always thought I was just like really disorganized kid that just could not do anything. Like, I was hopeless. She really panicked about me. I think she still panics about me every day.
It's mom stuff.
It's mom stuff, and that's fair enough.
My mom does the same.
But it got to my head, which
She
probably
has
got
a
to.
reason, though.
Hey.
Shots fired.
And I let it get to my head, and I was like, I'm disorganized. I need to fix it. And then eventually I just realized, no, you know what? My organization works for me. So coming back to the like self-independence thing, and then I had one more thing, but I forgot what it was. That's how it goes.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, that's a lot of things right there.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
I'm echoing a lot of what James said. Like, it's a lot of self-discovery, a lot of like
Yeah.
realizing that you can do things on your own. You don't need to be coddled.
Yeah. No. Mine would be a lot. It would be on the same path, but also very opposite. I was really bad at a lot of like routine things that everyone was supposed to be good at. Like, I still cannot do a lot of things that people should, like, it's like, I don't know what category they fall in, but like
Basic
day to
household
day,
tasks.
yeah, basic household tasks. And my parents would always like be like, why aren't you doing this? Like, just go for it. Just, you need to learn this or you will never be able to live alone. And I was like, damn, okay. And I always thought, I'll just learn them when I go abroad. And I lived alone for 1 year, like with my flatmate, and it was still alone because we never saw each other that much. We'd be in school and then we'd come home and we'd just be in our own like rooms, because like film school is really tasking. And I learned to do the things. Like, I was cooking, not that much, but just enough to survive. And but I was still not happy. I was like miserable, even though I was doing everything. Like, I was learning to clean, and not that much, but like just enough to get by.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, something is not right. And I was on a lot of medication. I was on like some OCD, antipsychotics, and antidepressants and all of that. And in December, I decided, like, I'm just gonna stop all this. I'm like, I'm in a new country. I'll figure it out. Like, I don't want to be dependent on this. And it was not going. I couldn't get the prescriptions here anyways. So I was like, you know what? Just let's just see what happens. And lo and behold, like, quarantine starts, and after 2-3 months of it, like after me going through withdrawal and everything, I start to notice like my mannerisms and everything changing again. And because I was on medication for like 2.5 years, that was like most of my adult life, and I didn't know how I was. And this is a different kind of self-realization where I was like, oh no, I am really good at a lot of things, but I am really bad at a lot of other things which everyone else is supposed to be good at. But I'm really good at a lot of things which everyone is only supposed to be good at just a few of them. And I talked to my therapist about it, and she was like, oh no, I misdiagnosed you. You don't have, your ADHD and everything is a part of autism. And I was like, oh, okay. And so then now I realize that it's okay, that I can't do a lot of things, and that it's okay that I will probably never be good at a lot of other things. And it doesn't mean that I'm just bad in general at doing them. It's just my brain is working differently. But all that also ties up in the end the self-realization, because I don't think I ever would have known that much about myself if I was with my parents. Because you need to be isolated, and you need to be taken away from so many of the support beams that are holding up the level of your life, that once all the support beams are taken away, you kind of figure out, now it's not a building, it's an ocean, and now you gotta float in it, and now you gotta like maintain your center of gravity. And when I figured that out, I was like, oh no, it's not that I'm bad at this, it's just my brain is really different. And that ties to self-realization. I think I know myself way better than I would have known myself if I was just at home.
Absolutely.
So that's it's a whole different experience. And just having personal space, and just having a space that I could call my own. When I was living with my parents, I didn't have a bedroom. We were like a middle-class family in Mumbai. Apartments are really expensive. Till I was like 22, 21, I would just sleep in the living room, and I didn't have a bedroom. So I didn't have any space to organize. It was just, everyone would organize it and I'd just be like, well, okay, I guess I'll sit here.
Mm-hmm.
So now I finally have some space where I can just be and no one is gonna, So that's nice. First of all, I would like to say thank you very much for coming here and staying for the whole podcast. It's been really fun. Thank you for bearing with all of the technical difficulties. I'm still figuring this stuff out. And it's been interesting. And I hope that you guys also enjoyed just talking about it and revisiting a lot of memories, because I feel like nostalgia is a drug. It's like a lot of times just going back in your mind and, peeling back some pages, some layers, you get like a nice dopamine hit out of it.
We don't advocate for drugs unless you're doing drugs in an area where it is legal. But
no comments.
Nostalgia is a good drug. I agree.
Yeah, nostalgia.
It's the good drug.
But the last question I have is, share one memory from here that you cherish the most.
Oh, no, that's impossible. I have so many memories
well,
that
one
I
of
cherish.
the memories doesn't have to be the top one, because I don't think there can be a list.
No, that's not fair.
Yeah,
I
it
can't
can
rank
be.
them.
You don't have to rank them. Just pick out something from like the top 20 or something, like one thing that comes to your mind instantly.
One of the first things that comes to my mind is the cabin trip. Because we rented a cabin in the middle of rural Czech Republic with like 12 people.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was just a weekend of debauchery, and it was really fun. And that's like one of my first go-to memories.
Campfires, barbecuing, driving with the windows down,
cooking. It was fun. It was like a collective commune for 3
playing
days.
games, looking at horses, flirting with girls. Unsuccessfully, but
this was pre-girlfriend. But still, I
This was
spent more time with the boys. I still have a burn somewhere on my arm.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got it.
I want to build on that one and say, from that cabin trip, yes, definitely, but also we have a picture on our dinner table. No, this is a nice memory. Let me explain it. I won't explain the bad parts, because it's like, we got a little bit too drunk on the day we were leaving, and James unfortunately got more drunk than the rest of us. But that's probably my fault and Gianpaolo's fault. But
rum and milk.
I wasn't going to give him that many details.
They need to know.
Point being is that we were at a restaurant in Little Michaud, and James. Yes. Yeah. James just had enough by lunchtime and just fell asleep. And he fell asleep in my arms.
Aww, awesome.
And I just took, from that point on, it was like, okay, James has suffered enough. Time to take care of him.
Nobody told me we were stopping on the way home to Prague. I was like, I'm going to sleep in the car. Pass out. And then they're like, hey, we're here. Let's get lunch and ice cream. And I'm like,
yeah.
what?
But that picture is on our dining table. And that picture of us and you and me and Bjorn and holding hands and Mitchell is still my profile picture.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, you send it to me and I will put it in there.
Oh no.
It's kind of like it's like an oh no moment, what happened, but also for me it's like that's my best bro moment.
Yeah, it was good. I felt safe.
Aww.
You were in safe hands. You were in very sunburnt hands, but you were
we were good.
Very safe hands.
But that's also like I love the cabin trip, but it's not fair because that's like a very small portion. That was last year. That was like my highlight last year. But like this year, what I will remember most isn't like individual things. It's just all of the things that Alex and I have done together to keep ourselves sane during during all of this. Like, we've done so many puzzles, we've listened to so many audiobooks, we take walks whenever we can, and like, I will remember those things because they were such nice moments in an otherwise bad situation with somebody that I care a lot about. So it's like, I don't know, that was like when I felt like I was still in university. Like that was my big college moment, and then it kind of evolved. And now I like to appreciate the smaller things. Like if we go on a bike ride when it's sunny in the winter, like that's a big day for us now because curfew's at 9. You can't do anything, and it's just so I really appreciate the little things now that we've done to keep ourselves happy. You know?
Yeah.
And her, I would have left like months ago if I wasn't dating her. So I appreciate her existence.
We're all glad that you're still here.
Yes.
For me, there's two moments that stand out. The first one is when Misha came over to my student housing apartment and we crocheted Sauce, my IKEA cat.
This guy?
Yes.
Yeah, we crocheted his cape and his crown.
Oh.
So
And you did the color.
yeah, I did this.
You did
this red part.
And she
Well,
did
it's
everything
difficult.
Yeah.
I was not. It's not that. It's like a lot of muscle memory.
I've
So you
never
can't do it well the first time, but if you do it like 2, 3, 4 times, you get pretty.
You ever
good
put
at
this
it.
cape on to Momo?
I don't think he would enjoy.
You wouldn't, but you might.
Yeah, but yeah, that is. I think that was the first moment that I was like, okay, nice. I was like,
Do you remember what I was wearing?
Ooh.
I don't know.
Easy.
This?
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, and the second one, there's two more. The second one would be the New Year's with everyone at your guys' apartment.
Samoa. I was not
Yeah,
there.
you were not there. But that was really nice. That was a really good bonding experience, and I felt like that was the moment when like Alex and Daria and like went from friends to like best friends, like really good friends. So and that also was like a moment of reassurance that okay, I have a life here. I'm not just like some random dude here just tagging along with some foreigners. Like okay, they care about me, I care about them.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
you know, this is good.
Let's hope we can have another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That reminds me of our first New Year's together. We're now sitting with you on the bank at Letna drinking champagne out of the bottle. And, you know, you were just crying because you were super emotional. And I lost one of the lenses to my glasses. So we were wandering around in the dark in this field looking for a single piece of glass, which was impossible to find because we
We
were
did find it though,
intoxicated.
didn't we?
No,
Oh.
absolutely not.
No. Oh no, I was looking for a bottle of champagne and I found it.
You found that. No, I still have a pair of glasses with only the right lens because it
Nice.
somehow popped out in Letna. But I remember that night a lot because we were very emotional. All of us were very emotional.
I was happy to be there.
It's our first New Year's together.
And I slid down the bank, found a random dude who looked homeless, probably was not homeless, and gave him 20 crowns.
Just a random.
Like, here you go, Happy New Year, and moved on with my life. And he's just like, "What are you?
What's up?
I'm just here enjoying New." Never mind.
But yeah, my third would be also with Misha, but it's the Czech Love Day. It's like their version of Valentine's,
May
where
1st.
we went to
May 1st, yeah.
we went to the Petrin, the mountain, and
Looking for
Yeah.
cherry blossoms.
yeah, we were looking for cherry blossoms the
Sakura?
whole time, and we couldn't find any there. So then we had to go to some random ass park, like where I was like, no, it's not here. I know where it is. And then we found it, but it was very underwhelming. But still, the view from the top of that mountain, and there was no one there, and it was so dark. I was scared, like the whole walk
Really
reaching there, because it's super dark.
Yeah, it is.
And we were there at night in quarantine. We're not allowed to go, like
Mm-hmm.
like go outside, and just the random noises of like leaves falling, people walking on leaves, and just coming from nowhere. I was so overstimulated. But the view there.
I've got another one now that we're talking about it. Well, no, you weren't there for this
I
one,
know, but
unfortunately.
I know you've got lots of good memories. Yeah.
Well, 2019, my birthday, Bjorn and I have the same birthday, like June 15th, which is a year apart.
Friend of ours from our school.
Friend of ours from our school.
Yeah.
Friend of theirs from their school.
I don't like celebrating my birthday for like a lot of reasons, but it was like the first time that it felt nice to celebrate a birthday because like we both contributed to it. It's like I was doing it for Bjorn was doing it for me, and then everyone else was doing it for like both of us, but also for everybody else. It felt like communal, which is the best part.
Nice culty.
I like cults. Yeah.
Continue.
It's a birthday cult.
Which one the most?
We don't want to go there. Please continue.
Yes. No. It was a great time. Like just like everybody was like it wasn't so much a birthday party. It was like Connor and Bjorn are having a birthday. Also, let's get together because it's summertime and enjoy Stromovka and like enjoy summer. And that was like this year. I didn't have any positive summer memories besides we're going to Montenegro, but that's like a special holiday. But like there's no like special Prague summer memories, so that's like my favorite one, and like the only birthday I've like actually enjoyed. Well, no, hold on. I enjoyed my birthday with you this year, but like that was like,
that was small because it had to be. Like,
it was one-on-one, which is a lot more different. I really appreciate that you took the whole day to spend that with me.
Of course, dude.
But
you did that with me, like.
Yeah, but still, like you weren't there for the first one, so I appreciated that you did this time around.
Feel like
you made the
pleasure.
extra effort.
Feel like the third wheel here. It's a lot of tension.
Here. Leave them alone.
Yeah. So that's it.
That brings it to a very wholesome end.
What are you gonna like? Are we not like maybe ask for like one bit of advice? You know, at the very end, like
Ooh.
Yeah.
Shit.
about people that are thinking about traveling abroad.
Yeah.
My biggest advice is do it. Like
One thing.
Don't be afraid. Like it is a huge undertaking to do it. But once you're there and you're settled in, you will just
do it.
super unlikely that you're.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Exactly. Listen to Shia LaBeouf. Like it's just do it. I was cautious, and I always have been a very cautious person. This is one of the few decisions that I made where I was like, I'm gonna do it, and
Same.
I haven't regretted it at all. Like there's a few tiny regrets, but they don't have anything to do with making the decision to come here. My regrets have had to do with things that I did here. You know, not about coming here in the first place.
Yeah.
I love it here, and I wouldn't have changed things for the world. Like
I was gonna say like just do it, but also be organized and don't do it wrong.
yes, get your visa first.
Get your visa
Get
first.
your visa first.
You should definitely, if you want to move to Thailand, absolutely do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But please get your visa first.
Yeah, be organized.
Be
plan-
organized. Be prepared.
Yeah, plan well.
Don't mess it up.
Don't bring too much either. Like I don't regret bringing a lot of clothes, but also I could have gone without them, and it's expensive. Like it doesn't have to be
that's true.
expensive to travel. It doesn't have to be.
I could have gone without the 24 books.
Yeah.
And like I could have saved that €200.
Yeah.
But
Shipping it and buying it is the same price.
yeah, so like you don't be reasonable.
Yeah.
You're gonna be there for years.
Yeah.
So
Just have fun. Like throw yourself into whatever culture you're going into. Don't hang on to the other expats and immigrants. Like try to meet somebody from the country, or at least somebody that's been there for a long time.
learn the language.
Yeah.
Learn the language, even a little bit.
Don't play safe. Not fully safe and not fully reckless.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Be
More on the reckless side.
fun and responsible.
Yeah.
Be the perfect human being. It's
Yeah,
simple.
it's easy. What's the word? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be bad. Be perfect. Be handsome.
Be Christian.
No, be Christian. And wait. Be handsome. Don't be attractive, and don't be unattractive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the real things.
Spoken by.
Which is a very specific reference that James and I have to one little mural in Holešovice, which you wouldn't know about if you didn't just do it.
Holešovice is a nice neighborhood if you're thinking
In
about
Prague,
moving to
yes.
Prague.
This is sponsored by Czech Tourism. No, it's not.
Not Holešovice. All right.
I wish we could pan the camera around to
But
that.
yeah, I'll just say it. Thank you for listening. If you made it till here, woo!
You did it.
Good job.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank
for
you so
doing
much. This has been really long, but thank you for sticking with us for the whole duration. I hope you had fun, and we'll see you in the next episode. Till then, stay safe.
Be sick if you leave a comment.
Please
Like
rate,
and subscribe.
rate this podcast. everywhere. And say hi to Momo.
Cat tax.
Bye bye. Momo says bye bye.
Nice.
Okay, you can press that.
Mumbo, turn it off.
Come on, man.
Oh,
Show us your
God.
butthole. Show us your butthole.
What are you, the dude's a Talladega?
Oh no, what's happening?
One of the channels I watch, every video he ends it with the parrot that hangs out with him just walking around. It's really nice.
Can you press the stop button? Me?
Just put some weird music and then this. You know?
Yes.